Hey, my name's Tim. I'm one of the senior occupational therapists at Sensational Kids Ormond. I'm just going to have a quick chat to you today about sensory integration. So here we go. Sensory integration. So if we think of our senses, we automatically think of 5 different senses, which will be sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. Yeah. In SI, there's actually 2 more, which is one is your sense of joint and muscle feedback. So lots of little receptors in your joints and muscle stretch, which is called your proprioceptive system. Another one, there's little structures in your ears, which relate to your sense of gravity and your sense of balance and motion. So how you know, right now, if I'm sitting in a car, I'm sitting still, but the car's moving forwards. If I'm standing in a lift and the lift goes up, I know I'm standing still, but I feel that my body's being pressed down and vice versa. And that little system is your vestibular system. Primarily in SI, we will work through all the sensory systems with greater focus on your proprioceptive and vestibular systems to help in terms of children to help improve function in day-to-day life. So looking at play skills, handwriting, balance coordination, and social interactions. Under our sensory integration umbrella, if I get rid of these things, there are 2, I guess, what would you call it? 2 areas. One side you're looking at sensory modulation, and one side you're looking at sensory motor integration. So, motor, so how is my sensory system processing my senses, and how is this affecting my motor output and motor functions and behaviors? Yeah, a lot to do with, again, so your posture, your balance, your coordination. How is my vestibular or movement system affecting my balance and posture and coordination? How is my tactile system or touch system, or I'm going to use this prop for proprioceptive system, affecting my body awareness for where I am in space. So am I able to lift my foot up on this step, or do I just not see it for the trip? Or not, rather than see it, rather do I just not notice it being in my space bubble? What do we need to incorporate into your child's day, whether it's more movement, more tactile experiences, to help integrate their sensory and motor systems and work together? Sensory modulation looks at, if we get this little cool wave here, and this is called your optimal band. And in this optimal band, we are happy, we're relaxed, we're looking and we're listening with our ears. And in general day-to-day life, we may all start down here, which is kind of like really low and slow. And we wake up, we have some breakfast, may have a shower, and we end up in here by the time we get to work or school. Fine, we see a couple of clients, we read a couple of reports, we're down here. Have lunch, have some tea, woo, we're up here. And over here, we're bouncing off the wall, we're really excited, there's too much happening. And this naturally occurs during all our days, because as adults, we're able to effectively, well, some adults, I guess, effectively modulate our sensations going in and out for a functional output. sometimes in terms of kids, they may not know what their body needs in terms of their sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, vestibular and proprioceptive senses in order to keep themselves in here. Which on the weekend, generally fine, but in school, if we're sitting in second session and we're up here and we've got a bit of a crazy bouncy kid, or if after lunch we're completely down here and we've got somebody falling asleep, socially, academically, the kids aren't going to be performing to the best of their abilities. So in terms of where OT comes into this, it works on the theory that we all need a certain amount of certain sensations in order to keep us in this optimal band. So we build a sensory diet of, again, possibly touch activities, deep touch activities, the proprioceptive body awareness ones, the vestibular movement ones, in order to teach the kids what their body needs to stay within that band. One thing, all of this should be done in very child-led manner, as well as very much based on function. So we will be working through the sensory systems in order to support, as I said at the start, kids' functional play skills, their motor skills, their listening and attention, ultimately working on their strengths to build a more well-rounded and, I guess, happy child.